Guys, Marsing in here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so to keep the Heroes Agenda hype rolling, the hashtag Heroes Agenda, we're doing another video today talking about what we could expect to see from this year's Heroes celebration. And we're going to look at this from two different angles. I'm going to take a look at everything that we got during last year's celebration. You can see our boy Hearts there. Go over the stuff that we got during the celebration, talk about how that could be expanded on, and also show some details from someone in our community, Prof. You might have seen him in some of the streams if you've been to those. Another huge Heroes fan in the community, basically made a custom Heroes celebration. I was going to do a much more detailed video about it, because he'd made ideas for like the banner and who the units would be, even an idea for like a Heroes LR releasing and stuff like that. And of course, what we didn't really expect, because it's not how they've done this in the previous years, we didn't think they were going to go ahead and announce basically every single new character as early as they did. So I wanted to still try and include some of the details from the stuff that he had come up with in here. If you want to see the more details about like the banner and the characters that he had come up with, let me know down below in the comment section. Obviously, we're going to be doing a ton of Heroes content in the lead up to Heroes. And then, of course, once Heroes comes out, tons of Heroes stuff will be going on as well. So we'll take a look here at last year's celebration to start with. Obviously, login bonus is going to be a thing, you know, very standard, straightforward stuff, nothing too crazy. You know, there's not like any special tickets or anything like that, right? It's just your very standard celebration login bonus. And then, of course, the banner, right? This will always be a thing that occurs, as well as the event. Now, when it comes to the Dokkan event, last year it was the 2 Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4s, and obviously those medals were used to awaken them and also Hearts. This year we know about Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Vegito and Rose, announced as kind of like the two headliners, Super Saiyan 3 Rose into full power. And we have seen that there is going to be a Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Broly. We don't know with all the characters that awaken if they would awaken from the event. Most of the time they don't, right? So some of them will get sharing the limit. The way I could see this going is that because we had a Limit Breaker event last year, I could see this event being against Super Saiyan 3 Rose, and then obviously the Limit Breaker Vegito, and I assume the Broly will awaken with his medals so that they have fierce battle. And I feel like Dark King Fu and the Berserk controlled Vegeta are going to end up being shattering the limit units, but obviously we will have to wait and see. Or of course, you know, because this one is the Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4s, this could just get a new stage rather than being a whole separate new event, and then the new stage is against Vegito, potentially even Vegito and Broly. You know, I would imagine potentially just Vegito by himself, but a new Dokkan event obviously is going to come along for the purposes of awakening at least one, right? We would assume Rose and Vegito at the bare minimum are going to get fierce battle, right? So that'll be the event for them. Obviously, we'll get sales as well. Then we have the crossover special barbershop. Now, this is a thing that they've done for the last 2 years in a row, and it is a way for them to make extra money. So I don't imagine there's any chance they won't do this again, which is, of course, when you purchase a certain pack of stones, you get this grey or silver, like dragon stone, that you can then use to exchange for a hero's unit from a particular list of units that are available. This is obviously very useful because when it comes to the banner, it's obviously very good for the new characters that the banner is guaranteed featured, and any extra SSRs that you get in your multi are more likely to be featured than unfeatured as well, because the Heroes banner is weighted more towards featured compared to a normal banner. So there might be a unit that's unfeatured. Like for me, for example, I have, I think it's Demon Goddess Toa is one of the only Heroes units that I don't have Rainbow. I need one more copy of her. Now, we should get an Easy A banner this year for all the characters that are Easy A-ing, but if I can just pick up that last copy of her with this silver stone, I don't need to summon on that banner. And obviously, you know, buying this stone, it comes with a pack of stones I can use to summon as well. So we'll definitely get this again. I say definitely, but right, they're not going to not do this, right? So we'll get this again, and that'll be useful for if there's any of those units that you just need that one final copy. Or maybe even, you know, you wanted to change one of the hidden potential things, and you don't want to spend 5 stones to do it, and you were going to buy all the sale stones anyway. I don't know if I would use it specifically for that, but, you know, always make sure, of course, when it comes to these things as well, if you are summoning on the banner, make sure you do all of your summons first, right? Because you don't want to use the silver stone to get, like, the one random unfeatured unit that you still need, and then you end up doing another multi before the end of the celebration and actually pull that specific unit, even though the chances for a specific unfeatured are very low. That obviously could happen, right? So last year, this was the new story event to give us a new free-to-play character. We know we always get one of these. We've already seen confirmed, of course, that this year's character is going to be the Toa in the lab coat. In the past, they've added new stages to other events, but Toa is not part of the Universe Conflict Saga, so I would imagine that she's going to get a new event specifically. And then, of course, you'll be able to farm her from that. One stage will be to farm the card. The other stage will be to farm the medals. So that'll be pretty straightforward. Obviously, we know we're getting a free-to-play unit, so we know we are getting this. Then we have the Extreme Z battle. So this is always one of the big things for heroes. The EZAs are usually very good. I put out a video yesterday talking about what the EZAs are going to be and what they could potentially look like. So if you haven't seen that, do go check that out. But this Extreme Z battle, as you can see, collect medals to awaken 8 characters. There are 8 characters getting their EZA this year as well. So I would imagine it is all going to be one Extreme Z battle again. They don't usually split this up. Although I'll show you like the example of that in the custom celebration from our boy Prof. But I would imagine it's just going to be the 8 again, right? Because if they split it up and have Vegito and Broly, who are obviously the 2 like fierce battle characters, separate, that's just an extra 30 stones for everybody, which is great for us, but I don't know if they would necessarily do that. And last year's one was for 8 characters as well, so I can just see them doing the same thing again. So then we have the crossover summon. This is the Extreme Z crossover summon, right? So this is the banner I was just talking about where it's all the EZA characters. So the 8 characters EZAing will be all on this banner. It's guaranteed featured. The first 3 multis are usually discounted to 30 stones. So any of the characters getting EZAs, if you need them, I would say obviously do your summons on the main banner first, because on the main banner you can still pull all of the characters on here unfeatured. So you want to do those summons first, and then if you end your main summons and you need a couple of copies or 1 copy of a specific EZA character, this banner is obviously technically the better way to get them, or if they're available with that silver stone, obviously that's an easy way to get that specific one that you need as well. Then we have the Extreme Z area. So this was new last year because it was the first time the free-to-play units got their EZAs. A new stage will be added to this because obviously we're getting a new free-to-play unit this year, but the free-to-play unit from last year, which was the Int Lags, should get her EZA. We can tell that because obviously last year when this debuted for the first time, all these older free-to-play characters got their EZAs, but Demon Goddess Poutine on the right here got her EZA as well, and she was the free-to-play unit that had come out the year before. So she got the EZA literally the next year after releasing. So the Lags unit should absolutely get her EZA this year. We get the new Toa as the free-to-play unit, and then obviously we would assume Toa will get her EZA next year for the Hero Celebration. So then we got the Dragon Ball Heroes Red Zone for the first time. Now, it was quite surprising. This was only 3 stages, and the rewards weren't really anything special, right? You got the, there was a special title. You obviously got stones and that for beating it for the first time. There were some missions, but only 3 stages I think was a little bit disappointing. Now, when it comes to this coming back, or a new version of this, because, you know, red zones are a big thing now for big celebrations. The thing that I would like to see, because it fixes an issue with the Heroes content that we see when it only comes around once a year, is for this exact same event to come back, but them to add new stages to it. Because then obviously what that means with the way the game works, it will mean that this event has then returned, because it's the same event rather than a new one, which then means after the Hero Celebration has ended, you would still be able to access it with keys. Because as far as I can tell, as far as I know right now in the game, if you go into the Portal of Memories with the keys, you can't do this red zone, the Heroes Red Zone, because it's an event that's only ever been in the game once, right? It hasn't come back, which means it's not available with keys. An event, to use keys on an event, it has to have returned to the game at least once, not just been in the game. So as far as I'm aware, I'm just trying to double check it here, but I'm pretty sure it's not available, which is a little bit unfortunate. Because, I mean, I guess to be fair, like if you're someone who's done it the year before, it doesn't really matter too much, but it's just weird that it's not available all the time when all the other red zones are, because I get like Heroes characters for whatever reason, whether it's because of the licensing and stuff, right? You can't summon them outside of the Heroes celebration, but I don't see why the event where you fight them should be locked to being available once per year. So hopefully this comes back with new stages and then is made permanent as well. That would obviously be very good. The only upside for it being temporary is that it did have unlimited attempts per day, which obviously is good. So then obviously we have the reopening of the old EZAs. So this one and the one from this year will obviously come back, because if you pull any of the EZA characters you didn't have and you haven't actually done the Extreme Z Battle event, it's going to be there. The return of the events for the Awakening the Other Characters, God, Trunks, Vegito. Obviously this will include the Limit Breaker one as well. The Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks one is there because the Tech Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks from the Heroes banner is the, I think, only Heroes character that awakens with medals not from one of the Heroes events. So his event always comes back as well. And then the old story events come back for farming the old free-to-play characters. So that is a breakdown of everything we got last year. Now there's a couple of things that we did not get that I would like to see, and some of those are touched on in this custom celebration. So we're going to jump over and have a look. Prof's Super Dragon Ball Heroes crossover campaign for 2023. Like I said, we're not going to talk about the like the banner and the event, and then obviously we had this cool idea for the crossover legendary summon with an LR Xeno Gogeta, but obviously now that we basically know all of the characters, we can't do that. So we also added in, I think he added this in once Pity was added to the game recently with the 2 yellow coin banners, a Pity system to get a copy of the Xeno Gogeta, which would be very cool. But obviously we kind of know that this stuff isn't happening. So we'll move on to the other events. As I said at the beginning, if you'd like to see me do a video going into more stuff like that and maybe some other concepts for the characters we know that are coming, I could potentially do that as well. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. But this first thing here is something that I absolutely want to see them added into the game for Heroes. I really wish they could have added it last time as well. This is a special event to get skill orbs for the Heroes characters. And apparently I've opened the wrong one. So there we go. Skill orbs for the Heroes characters. So just one of these typical events. We have one currently live on Global at the moment that is going to finish soon, where you do the daily events against Pilaf to get the Power of Wishes skill orbs. So this would be a stage where you can attempt it once per day to get EX skill orbs for the Dragon Ball Heroes category. It's got the UI beat and launch. We've obviously seen art for them. They recently showed on that Heroes live stream the MUI art for both beat and launch as well, which is kind of cool. It'd be interesting as well, because then they would be a boss enemy in the game that doesn't have a card. But obviously the event can be against anyone, right? This is just the custom skin that Prof has put on it, right? But something like this, I think, is absolutely needed for the Heroes celebration. Give us a way to get some extra skill orbs for those Heroes units. A lot of people, I mean, if someone like me who's all in for Heroes, I've been saving some of my best, like, premium skill orbs for the Heroes characters. Whereas for other people who just like to dabble, maybe want to do a few summons here and there to try and get, like, Rose or Vegito, they're not necessarily going to want to use all of their best skill orbs on those characters. So giving us an event where we can get some orbs for Heroes only, I think would definitely be very, very good. So I think this is something that should be added into the event. Would absolutely love to see this. So then we have the new special event, recruit Trunks Xeno and become a TUR. This is basically just like the free-to-play events, right? Like we knew that a free-to-play character was going to come out. And yeah, we have a Xeno Trunks, awakens into Super Saiyan 3 Xeno Trunks with the trench coat, which is pretty cool. Obviously for this year, we know now that it is going to be Toa. Like I say, last year when they did the initial Heroes live stream, they pretty much only revealed hearts. So all of this stuff, like speculating about who the free-to-play unit will be and stuff like that, is something that would have been really fun to make a video about, but now we already know what it's going to be, right? So, so now this is an interesting event that would be pretty cool. So cleaning the time nest with Cronoa and Eos here. New special event, clear stages to complete support memories. So that's something that we talked about last year when the Red Zone came out, and the fact that we did not get a support memory for completing it, right? So this is a special event. Help Cronoa and Eos clean up the time nest, get rid of any time distortions to complete support memories. Because support memories, it's kind of interesting when you think about, especially from Xenoverse, these distortions in the timeline basically being these scrolls that you can look at and see scenes playing out that are, you know, incorrect, right, for the canon timeline, and they are weird distortions in the timelines. So they kind of translate really well into being support memories, because it's like you watching something happen in another timeline. So I quite like this idea. I think this is a bit too outside the norm for Dokkan to do, but something like this would actually be really cool. So there's 4 stages, each one with a different saga from Heroes. Dark King Mechikabura saga, where you fight Mechikabura in his old man form, which we don't have in the game. And then, of course, the AGL Mechikabura is his, like, powered up youth, like, full power form. Then the Prison Planet saga, where you fight Kumba, and then Great Ape Kumba at the end. Universal Conflict saga, where you fight Hearts, and obviously Super Hearts at the end. And then the Universe Creation saga, where you fight Fu, and then Dark King Fu at the end, who, of course, we now know we are getting as one of the new units for this year. But each one of those 4 stages gives you the parts for a different support memory, which I think is really cool. I don't know if they would go that far, right? They didn't even give us the 1 last year, but the support memories, we got one for Dragon Ball Heroes or Realm of Gods, attack and defense 10% for 1 turn when there's an extreme class enemy, for the Demon King, creates the domain Artificial Moon, which gives Giant 8 power allies attack and defense 20% for 5 turns, activates from the 5th turn or when there is a Dragon Ball Heroes category enemy. This is the one you get from the Kumba. That's quite interesting for Giant 8 power. Imagine this with like a full Super Saiyan 4 team and stuff. Then Power of the Universe C, 25% HP recovery, all allies attack and defense 15% on the 6th turn, or when HP is 50% or less with a hero's ally on the team. So it's a good like emergency heal for heroes. And then all allies key 1 for 2 turns, and crossover allies attack and defense 10% for 2 turns. Starting from the 3rd turn is the Toki Toki Bird one. Now, the thing I would say about this is we all kind of expected this from the Red Zone last year, but we need to get a hero's permanent buff one. I don't know why they didn't do that, right? Like when we got the original Red Zone smoothie bosses in GT, those were the initial rewards, right? Beat all the stages of the Red Zone, get the permanent buff support memory. So that's something I would really like to see for Heroes, is them giving us a Dragon Ball Heroes allies attack and defense 10 or 15%, just like permanently. And some of the new ones that we've seen, like the Worldwide Chaos one from the Zamasu, it gives some characters an extra buff for the first turn or 2, and is the permanent buff to the category. That would be really, really good for Heroes to get, I think. So definitely looking forward to or hoping for some kind of support memory. I also like the fact it's a different color film, because if you weren't aware of this already, the different colors of film are the different like sagas or arcs of Dragon Ball. So like blue is GT, they're all like coded, like orange is Dragon Ball Super, so we wouldn't have any Heroes ones yet, so technically they would be a different color. So there's a good attention to detail there. And then yeah, the Easy A, we know there's 8 characters getting their Easy A's this year. He's got this separated into 2 Extreme Z battles. Oh, is there an extra character in here that there shouldn't be? Because there should be 8 characters in total, right, getting their Easy A's, unless we've included... Oh, okay, so in this Extreme Z battle, we've included AGL Xeno Trunks and Physical Xeno Trunks. I would actually love for them to get Easy A's, even though they're not Heroes units. I don't think they would never put those units into an Extreme Z battle called like Heroes Edition, because they're not Heroes characters, but them getting their Easy A's as part of this celebration I think would actually be really good. And then yeah, he's gone along with essentially what I was saying of bring back the same event and add new stages. So you've got the first 3, Golden Cooler, Fu and Kumba, and then we have stage 4 is the Kami and Oren, then possessing Kale and Caulifla, and then the weird Colgate fusion thing that they become at the end. It's kind of cool. Metal Cooler, so he starts off as Metal Cooler and then becomes Golden Metal Cooler, and then the final one versus Hearts. I think that would be very cool for a set of Red Zone stages. I would ideally like them to do more than 3, but they only did 3 last year, so it'd be nice if they maybe did 4 and brought the whole thing to 7, which is what the initial stages were. And then add in that mission, like we were saying, right, beat all the stages and get a permanent buff support memory. I think that would be very cool. And then at the bottom we have Explosive Chain Battle versus Giant Ape Kumba, new Super Battle Road, so finally give us a Hero Super Battle Road stage. There are enough free-to-play units that even if someone has never summoned on the Heroes banner, they could still make a full Heroes team. So I think it's way past due we actually get a Super Battle Road stage for Heroes, but I don't know if they will ever do that, because with them taking away all of this other content like every year, would that Super Battle Road stage disappear? Is that why they won't do one? Like, I don't know. And then we have the Super Strike renewal of the Tech Xeno Trunks. Even though he's not a Heroes character, again, specifically, I think the Heroes Celebration like time period would be a perfect time to do this Super Strike revamp. So I think that would be a really good idea. It's also not mentioned in here at all, but I really want to see them EZA. We touched on the 2 Xeno Trunkses that were included in this Extreme Z battle here, but the Tech Toa, Physical Mirror, and Int Demigra, the Xenoverse cards, giving them EZAs during this celebration is a thing I would love to see as well. So as you can see, there's a lot of content that we know that we're going to get, but a lot of areas that they could expand on. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. What is the biggest thing you would like to see from this hero celebration in terms of the content, right? I know someone's going to say, like, for the units to be busted. We're all hoping that. But in terms of the events, let me know what you guys think, and let me know if you want to see a more detailed thing of the custom banner and units that Prof came up here for the celebration. I know a few people in the community are super into like unit concepts and stuff, but it's not for everyone. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Shout out to our boy Prof. Put a lot of work into this, making all like the assets for all of these events and stuff like that. So shout out to him. And yeah, the Heroes hype is real. Hashtag Heroes Agenda in the comments on Twitter. Let's get it trending for when Heroes comes out. Hashtag Heroes Agenda. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.